Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we have got a map with an absolutely glorious snowy mountain backdrop. You don't, strictly speaking, need Snowfall DLC for this one, although it is on the list of requirements. No, it's one of those maps with the clever theme that does the snow for you. Now, this has been voted in by the BonBonB buddies over on Patreon because it's Friday and we always do that on a Friday. And they've given me, for the first time this week, not a My First Map. It's a creator we have done 3 times in the past, episodes 449, 522 and 561 with 9, 9 and 11 stars respectively. Now the map is quite glorious, plenty of things to moan about though, and you do know how I do like a little bit of a moan and a gripe. And if you like me moaning and griping, well, you know how to show your approval, don't you? That's right, approving my gripefulness really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. And yes, gripefulness is now a word. Right, okay, we are today reviewing AGVA County by Sengin. That is AGVA County by night, apparently, that thumbnail. Sort your thumbnails out, please, guys. There's your start square, plenty to work with there. That's actually a really good start square. And what about the terrain heights across the map? Very flat, apart from the mountains. That's fine, absolutely fine. Good buildable places. And the resources centered on the 25 tiles, that's absolutely fine as well. I have no problems with that. Off to the workshop, what do we need? Well, apparently we need mass transit, park life and snowfall. Although having looked at the map, I think you can get away with just mass transit. We'll be using the Alps Dolomites with snow theme today. There's a few bits to subscribe to there, including a train, which you don't strictly need. And the recommended LUT is satellite. Unfortunately, I missed it, and so we'll be using the realistic 1.2 LUT today. The satellite LUT would make the whole thing look slightly bluer, slightly colder. I don't think it would have scored any more stars for the change of LUT, but if you'd like to just squint and pretend everything's got like a bit of a blue hint to it, rather than a slightly tropical bluey green hint, then that'd be great. Highways go from 3 lanes to 2 lanes for the bridge, and that's not totally uncommon, so I'm okay with that. And then as we head down, we now have this glorious backdrop with these snowy mountains. That is very, very nicely done indeed. Oh, I can sit here and watch this all day. Let me just give me a moment. Ah, yes, lovely. Right, okay, onwards with the roads. Yes, good highways on this map. Very, very well worked highways. Nothing really to moan about here. In fact, we have road under rail there, and it looks realistic, which is good also. Down this way, we've got what we've got here, a little crossover of the rail here. This is road over rail, and although it is staggered, I think that looks just right. So I've got no grumbles with that either. I thought I said I was going to grumble a lot. Yeah, I'll save it. I'll save it for the second half of the show, shall I? Right, where were we? Coming up towards Start Square roundabout. Now, we've got a little bit of traffic issues going on here, and as we are now into December, officially into December, holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming. Wait for it now. White van man, look at it, just squeeze that through there, right? Okay, let that one out, let that one out, let that one. Look at this white van here. Look, blinking hell, that is very naughty. You're a very naughty man, white van driver. Where were we? We were at the. We're going to go straight over because that takes us off to the edge of the map and towards the mountains. This takes us down towards the start square. Now, not too much to say down here. It's as you've seen from above, particularly interesting looking start square. We've got some old walls going on there. We're not even going to look at those today. We will just skip across, I think, to the dirt track because there's something down here I do want to show you, which is a bit of a grumble. Actually, more than a bit of a grumble for me. Down here, we've got a dead end. You can see already we've got the jetty. And the jetty is just frankly awfully positioned. You never get up there without some grappling hooks. Grappling hooks to get up onto the jetty. So what we'll do, I'm going to move that in. Move it in, move it in, move it into about there maybe. And see, that automatically looks better. But we are really high above the water. So let's see if we can get the big ships down to this jetty. And the answer is no, you can't, because these bridges would be way too low for big ships. So frankly, I would just get the bulldozer key and get rid of that completely, or have to terraform the actual water's edge to bring it in much lower. But what we do have, which is really nice with the water's edge, is Dutch Canals by Epic Lurker. Now this is a pack of 3 things, which is the road, we've got the canal itself, and we've got the bridges. And actually really easy to use as well. Definitely highly recommended. And factoids, because factoids. On this day, the 6th of December, in 1957, the very first American satellite was due to blast off into space amid worldwide press interest. When the appointed time came, it only managed to get 2 feet off the ground, and then it promptly blew up. Oops. Yes, the first of many catastrophes regarding space travel there for the United States. Okay, but anyway, look at this. This is, we'll ignore that. Forget space travel. Let's have a look at barge travel. This is beautiful, isn't it? Now, the water hasn't quite settled, and in fact, it's still filling in as we speak. It hasn't found its level yet. By the end of today's show, it probably will be a little bit too high, but very easy to use. Excellent set of networks there. Highly recommended. Dutch Canals by Epic Lurker there. Today's asset of the day. And just give it a spin, pull back and say goodbye. And we'll head back down to the roads. And the perfect little bridge there. A bit too low for the shipping traffic, but we don't have any shipping traffic, so why? Why are we worried about it? We're not, are we? Across that roundabout and up to 3 lanes again. And yes, it's just got a lovely feel to it. This is like spring in the lower Alps, or just off from the Alps. Actually, maybe a long way off from the Alps. Intersection here, we've got a bit of a grumble with this one. It looks okay from here, but we've got some terrain work going on here, and makes this bit of the ramp very steep indeed. And given that it has been terraformed into the land already, clearly has been terraformed in, I think just the smooth tool, the segment slope smoother, or using Move It would do that very nicely indeed. Also going to moan about the off-ramp here. That's a beautiful off-ramp. Not going to moan about this one. That looks really good. Comes down to ground just before getting down to the junction. But going back up, it's elevated at ground level. It doesn't really need to be down there at ground level. And we've got some shark's teeth as well, which are never the prettiest of things. Back up to the elevated highway up above and off. I think, we've got some encroaching trees. Not the biggest problem, but they are actually clipping through. You can see that branch there is actually clipping through the highway wall there. Don't mind if they're overhanging and encroaching, but clipping through and encroaching is a little bit of a problem. As with all of these things, you'll probably see many more things than I do, but I don't have time to talk about every single instance of a glitch. But do mention them into the comments just to prove that there are more thereabouts. Now on with the rail. It's a fairly flat map, so there shouldn't be any major problems with the rail. I don't feel there are any major problems with the rail. Possibly the layout would not be to everybody's taste. It's not horrific. We nip across the river there with, again, a perfect rail bridge. Yeah, it's not horrific. It does cover great swathes without going into every nook and cranny. And it's reasonable. It's more than reasonable. There are some places where you might want extra connectors for trains to be able to turn around and come back. I do have a little bit of an issue, minor issue, with some of these fence details along the side. Now, I don't see that they really add an awful lot. I probably would have preferred some like trees or hedges to mark that out along there. Clearly to stop wildlife from wandering onto the rail, because it doesn't look like something that's going to stop you or I from clambering over. And then it's sort of like it just meanders around this way. It goes a long way and doesn't seem to really do or achieve anything. And so I would rather have, I could have been very happy without that. And that's one of the very few reasons for having the extra DLC as a requirement. Those fences, and I don't really see why we're worried about them. So anyway, if you don't have the DLC, that's what you're going to be missing, which frankly isn't much. And that's why I said at the beginning of the show, Don't worry if you haven't got park life, and don't worry if you don't have snowfall. Honestly, you'd be fine without them. Got a bit of a rail loop going on here, which is fine, but the way it connects back onto the rail just gives the one option. Here, as we come back this way, you'll see we've just got the one option in a moment when we go back over the bridge. This is nice. Encroaching trees again, quite heavily encroaching trees actually there. Nice gentle elevation there, gets us up and over the river quite tidily. Back down the other side and nice and gentle there. And then yes, as we merge back onto the rail line here, you'll notice that we can only go the one direction, which is a little bit, it's a loop around basically, but it means we can't go this way. Now if we could reverse up this way, which would be great, we can get up to here, but then we have to return around and reverse back. You see the glitching, the rail has glitched out. That's just one of those things, I'm afraid, with the vanilla rail. Can't do much about it, short of maybe switching to the Railway Replacer mod. And then come down here to, you know what it is, guys. Sing with me, everybody's favourite factory.
Do you have trouble building on steep hills? Do your buildings continually glitch into or out of the ground? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Building on Steep Hills by BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And we go back to AGVA County by Sengin for the shipping routes. There aren't any, and that's fine, absolutely fine. Wouldn't really expect any on this map anyway, but no shipping routes. Okay, what about water flow? Well, if we start off in the mountains, the water is flowing back off the edge of the map, so that's an interesting start. I would have thought it'd be flowing this way, the way we were going. And it gets a bit globby and a bit glitchy and hardly anything at all. We'll keep coming around this way. We'll see how this goes now, you see. I told you I'd have a moan, didn't I? Now, are we going downstream now? Looks like we might be actually heading downstream now. Then we have a waterfall here, which we'll come back and look at in a minute. And as you can see here, oh, hang on. Look at it now. Look at this. The water is not actually going over the waterfall. It's going through it. Answer to that? Maybe put a few of Zardas's rocks down there, something like that, just to make it look a little bit more like a proper waterfall. Just a thought. Or more work on the terrain. Even down here, the water flow is a little bit stop-start. A little bit glitchy and globby again. And then we get down to the lake. And this is alright. This looks okay. We have got water actually coming back towards us from here, which probably indicates that we've got wildlife. Ooh, we got a whale. Haven't seen a whale for a long time in these shows. And yes, anyway, we've got a nice, decent sized lake. We've got the stingray. Ha ha! Stingray. Yes, so anyway, we are now going upstream. So the water is coming in from the edge of map down the river network, ending up in this lake, which means if you're pumping out water, because the start square is kind of down this route here somewhere, if you're pumping out your sewage, it's all going to end up in this lake, and these guys are going to be feeding on it. So just consider that. Just consider, would you want to do that? Would you like a closer look at these guys? Would you? Have you actually seen these close up before? I know there's going to be plenty of you that haven't, so let's come in and have a little look for those of you that haven't. So anyways, yes, these are, this is whale. whale. Woo, woo. No, I'm not doing whale song. And this is Stingray. Yes, one of Jerry Anderson's greatest creations. Okay, let's a little fly around there. Look at the mountains. They look great, don't they? That is a great mountain range. The river networks, though, leave a bit to be desired. When we come down here, it's just, yeah, pixelated and janky. Janky rivers are never good. And then we get, like, these little, lumpy islands that just stick out of nowhere. Then we get little areas like this that the water doesn't quite fill into because there's not enough area for the water to get in. You can see it was intended to be, but it's not quite working. So that's a bit of a fail there. And then you're going to get little areas like this that should have water in them as well. Don't get them as well. So anyways, the rivers, at first glance from far away, they look great. I think once you start working this, you'll probably want to be playing with the terrain tools to make your rivers just a little bit more realistic. let's head back up into the mountains and have a look at the rivers up here, because they were very stop-start, weren't they? Then you see here, we've got bulge there, we've got hardly anything there, a little waterfall there. In places they look nice, and then in places there's just nothing. And you just can't see how this could ever be. So it's a shame. It's a shame. The mountains look great. We've got new terrain tools in the mod shop, on the workshop, that will enable you to do rivers in the map editor. And then of course you've got the river networks. That's a new thing as well from Muck Welshman. Not that I recommend these things, but if you are struggling with rivers, they might be something that might be worth considering playing with. Still, right, so we've got a lot going on with this map. Let's say we do a screenshot or the thumbnail. That's it. Do the thumbnail with those Dutch canals, I think. Dutch canals with the mountains in the background. That look really good. Come down here. Settle downs. Settle down. Oh, crikey, they're kind of overflowing. I needed to switch the water off. Okay, I left the water flowing. Sorry, we won't do that then. Anyway, what do you think of this map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Yes, those canals, you do need to add your own water source and sort of like settle it. And I forgot to settle it. So don't have a go at the creator Epic Lurker for that, because that is a BonBonB. Anyway, where are we? Aesthetically, the mountains are a 4-star area. All told, it does feel like a 4-star map. But there's a lot of bits and pieces that bring it down, I'm afraid, especially with the rivers. So I'm gonna go for a middle-high 3 stars for aesthetics. Detailing, the highways are excellent, but beyond that, there's nothing really that shines. There are a few things that would fall into the 2-star category, a few things that fall into the 4. It's down the middle with a 3, I'm afraid. 3 for detail. Gameplay potential. Do you know what? I think this is actually quite a playable map. If you don't mind fixing a few bits as you're going along, you'll be very happy with this one. So, AGVA County by Sengin, I'm going to give 4 stars for gameplay potential. It's a lowish 4, but it is 4, but very playable. I would like to play this one day, given the time. Right, so that's it from AGVA County. Thanks very much, Sengin, for sharing another piece of work by yourself. What have we got now? We've got the end of the show, which means I get to say thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing, and for joining me for another map in the What's Map series. The December patrons will be available to view on Monday. So yes, I know these guys are still November, but yes, December is coming up very soon. Oh, it's here already. Look, give me a chance, give me a break, will you? Got too much to do. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I've been BonBonB, and you've been very, very welcome.